What's going on, everyone? Casey here, and this is the first video in what I hope to be an entire series of Unity tutorial videos. Now in this first video, what we're going to go over is how to make your camera do a fly-through of your level without writing any code whatsoever. Now in later videos, I will be writing code, but Unity has some really powerful tools, and this is just one of the ones that I want to show off that's simple and easy to use that requires no coding whatsoever. Now, I want to start off by saying if you're someone who does not like listening to people talk, you just want to see how to do this in silence, no extra commentary, whatever, I have uploaded another video where I just do exactly what I'm doing in this video, but without taking any detours to show you what could go wrong. I just do it right the first time. I go straight through it, no commentary, no explanation. So if you want, you can navigate over to that video and watch that. Okay, so if you're still with me, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to do is I want to download a forest asset from the Unity Asset Store. Now I already have the Asset Store tab open, but if you do not have it open and you're not sure how to get to it, what you do is you just go up here in the top where you see File, Edit, Assets, etc., and you go to the Window tab, and you click right here on the Asset Store, and that'll open up the Asset Store tab for you in your project. All right, so now that we're in the asset store, what I want to do is I want to go up here in the search bar. I want to type in fantasy forest environment. I'm going to start typing part of environment. So the first thing you see is you see this paid $25 asset, but right next to it you see the free version of this asset, which is what we're going to be using for this tutorial. So you can click on it, and if you've never downloaded it before, you'll see a download button here instead of import. And so go ahead and download it, and once you've downloaded, hit the import button, and over here you'll see the option to import. Now I've already imported this into my scene, so I'm not going to hit import again, but if you haven't, you need to hit import. Okay, so now that we have our assets in the scene, we want to go into our project view, we want to go into this assets root folder, go to the scenes folder, and click on demo scene free. And that's what we're going to open up here. So we've opened up the scene, we're going to go to our scene view, and we're here, and the first thing I want you to do is find the camera over here in the hierarchy. All right, so we have the camera selected, and so what I want you to do is I want you to go over here to add component, this button right here, and you can start typing in animator, and we want to select this animator component to add. All right, so now that we've added the animator component, the first thing we notice is that right here where it says controller, it says none. Well, in order for our animation to run properly, we need an animator controller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the assets root directory here in our project view. I'm going to right click, I'm going to go to create, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it animations. Inside this animations folder, I'm going to right click again, go to create. This time I'm going to go down to animator controller. Now I'm going to be very straightforward with my naming conventions, and I'm going to name this camera underscore AC, which stands for animator controller. All right, next we want to click on our camera again, and we want to drag and drop this camera animator controller into the controller in the animator component. All right, now that we have an animator controller, we need to get ourselves an animation. So there's two ways you can do this. You can either right click, go to create, go down to animation, and you can click on an animation, name it, and create one there. But what I like to do is I like to go to window, I like to go to animation, click on animation here, and this opens the animation tab. So first thing you want to do is click on your camera in your hierarchy, look in your animation tab, and here it says to begin animating camera, create an animation clip. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to make sure it's over here in the same animations folder where my animator controller is, and I'm going to call this level fly through. I'm going to get rid of some of those weird capitalizations because I'm kind of perfectionist with that kind of thing. I'm going to hit save. So now I'm just going to click here. You see that we have this animation here that says level fly through. So I'm going to go back to my camera, go back to my animation. All right, so now that we have the animation here, let's actually, do something with this animation. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to click add property, I want to go to transform, I want to go to position. Now what this means is throughout this entire animation, the animation is going to track the camera's position. We have our start frame right here, and we have our end frame over here. The value doesn't change for the position between the first frame and the last frame, so we actually want to change that. So what we're going to do is we're going to click record. We're going to make sure that we're over here on our last frame. We have our last frame selected, and we're going to just pull this forward a bit. I'm going to just go kind of far. And there we go. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually see what happens if we press play right now. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is not going to be good, and we still have a few more steps to go, but I want you to understand what each part of this tutorial does and what each part of this animation has control over. So let's go ahead and stop recording and press play. So as you can see, the camera moves forward, but it moves really fast. And once it reaches the end, it just starts over from the beginning and it's just on an endless loop. So let's save our eyes there, stop pressing play, and let's fix a few things. The first thing that we want to fix is this looping issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my project tab. I'm going to click on this animation here. I'm in my animations folder, level fly through, and up here on the right in the inspector you can see that it says loop time and the box is checked. So if we uncheck this, that means there's no loop time, and that actually solves your looping issue right there. Now once it reaches the end of the animation, it'll just stay wherever the last frame of the animation was. The next thing we want to do is fix the speed issue. Go ahead and click on the camera right there. All right, yeah, so we want to fix our speed issue. So back to project, back to level fly through, camera, animation tab. And right here you can see that on the level fly through animation you see this number 60. Now what this means is that this animation plays at 60 frames per second. 0, and then here's 60. So that's what's causing it to be so fast. This is the speed of the animation. So we want to probably make that a lot slower. I'm going to go way slower and maybe say something like 8. You can put whatever you want in here, but I just want to make this painfully slow maybe. All right, so now that we've made it slower, let's do one last thing to this animation. Let's go here, let's go back to this add property button, go back to transform, and this time choose rotation, because we don't want our camera to just move in a straight line or just face one direction. We want it to face multiple directions. So I'm going to go back into my animation here. I'm going to hit record again. I'm going to go to the last frame, make sure we're back on this last frame again, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this a rotation of, let's say, yeah, I think 48, kind of close to 50. That's probably good there. And then next, we're actually going to go out, we're going to give ourselves another frame, and we're going to go here, we're going to right click, and we're going to go add keys. That's going to give us a whole nother frame that we can mess with. So let's see what we can do here. Maybe gives ourselves a little more, oh, no, not that rotation. I keep messing up the rotation here. Let me get a little closer. There we go. That's probably more what we want. Maybe go down a little. So you can kind of see that, I'm kind of moving bit by bit with this piece here, but it doesn't matter how bad, like how much you stumble. Oh, whoops. It doesn't matter how much you stumble getting to the endpoint. All that the animation is going to look at is what the endpoint is. And let's maybe go ahead and give ourselves a little rotation, go back down again. And I think that's good for that frame. And I think I'll actually make one more frame probably. So we'll go here, we'll right click on the second level. If you do on the top level, it'll ask you to do an animation event. So I'll click here on the second level, I'll add another key, and let's see what we can do here. slowly but surely. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and end it right there. All right, so let's go ahead and see what we've done. I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to press play, and hopefully this looks a little better. All right, so you can see the camera's running slowly. It's curving on its own. And what's so great about using the animator to control your camera and make it go where you want? Obviously, my pathing wasn't the greatest, but what's so great about it is even though what you're saying is, hey, go from this rotation of 90 degrees, for just from no rotation to 90 degrees instantly, what Unity does is it does calculations and makes it seem, rather than an instant turn to 90 degrees, it's a gradual, smooth rotation and transition over time. So here we are, we've come to the end of the frame, I think, and as you can see, it just kind of rests there kind of peacefully. I think I added an additional frame somewhere in there, so be careful of an additional frame. Um, so that's going to be it for this tutorial. Keep in mind, this is a very basic implementation. You can add a lot more complicated actions. You can add a lot more keyframes. I just kept it to 4 or 5 just for simplicity's sake, and so this video doesn't go on for 30 minutes. But there's so much you can do with it. Play around with the components, play around with the rotations, and just what the final positions are throughout the frames. And yeah, so I'd love to see what you guys do with this. Let me know what you think of this tutorial in the comments, and maybe what other tutorials you might like to see in the near future. Thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed these videos, and I can't wait to release the next one.